hidden deep within the smoky folds of the Appalachian Mountains, where the mists cling like ghost breath to the trees and the wind hums old hymns through cracked hollows, there lie stories that are whispered only in moonless hours. Folks say some tales are kept quiet for a reason, because speaking them invites something to listen back. My name is Evelyn Grace Carter, born in Kentucky, raised in the quiet ridge shadows of Harlan County. My grandmother always said the mountains could hear lies. She'd smack my hand if I ever mocked the old Appalachian superstitions, step over a broom, no mirrors after midnight, never call to the woods after sundown. Names of power, she whispered once, but silence can be power too. I brushed off her warnings the way most modern women do, until the night I learned why nobody tells certain stories out loud. It started when I came home after 12 long years away, armed with a journalism degree and a hunger to uncover suppressed folklore. Banned Appalachian Tales They Don't Want You to Hear. That was the working title for my documentary. I wanted raw truth, hidden history, the eerie spine of these mountains. I thought I'd expose forgotten myths. Instead, I unearthed something that still follows me each night when the lights go off. Grandma's old cabin sat quiet on a ridge like a tired guardian. The wood creaked like it remembered me. The forest felt thick, watching. There is a heaviness Appalachia wears after dark. It settles into the lungs, slow and breath-binding. Locals always muttered something when I asked about forbidden folk stories. Some tales ain't meant for tellin'. Don't feed the dark. Keep hush, girl. They'd glance at the tree line, fiddling with crosses and old bone charms. I recorded everything, determined to prove superstition was just superstition. God forgive my arrogance. The first night, the whisper path. There's a trail behind the cabin that leads into the woods. Grandma never let me walk it. She called it the whisper path. Said if you walk after dusk, the trees learn your voice. Said some folks never come back right, or never come back at all. Of course, I went. Full moon. Camera rolling. Leaves crunching like bones. Wind humming. At first, it was peaceful. The wild curl of fern. Fireflies suspended like floating souls. Then the woods went silent. No crickets. No wind. Then something whispered my name. Not around me. Not above me. Inside my ear. Evelyn. I spun. Nothing but trees. Then again. Softer, breath warm. Evelyn, come see. The forest shifted. The air smelled like wet iron. Shapes moved behind trunks, human-sized, but wrong. Too long in limb, too thin, faces blurred like heat waves. I froze as a soft, childlike voice whimpered. It hurts, come help. I backed away. The moonlight dimmed. Then a figure stepped out from between two oaks. Pale, tall, mouth stretched too wide, eyes the color of dead river stones. Stories keep us awake, it crooned. You woke us. I ran. Branches clawed my skin, shadows chasing like living night. Something grazed my ankle. Icy, bone-thin fingers. I threw myself into the cabin, slamming the door. Something scratched the wood for hours, whispering my name like a lullaby. I didn't sleep. The second tale, the bone collar. Morning broke, weak and cold. I went into town, shaken but stubborn. At the diner, old men paused mid-chew when I walked in. Everyone stared like I smelled of grave dust. Walked the woods, didn't ya? The waitress whispered, eyes wide. You don't call to what's in them trees, honey. They hear. I asked for band tales. No one spoke until one frail man leaned over. They ain't tales, he rasped. They're warnings. He told me about the bone collar, a woman who once tried to uncover forbidden lore. Like me. She recorded rituals, interviewed elders, and mocked Appalachian beliefs. One night, she played an old chant backwards, and something came. Folks found her wandering barefoot in the snow, whispering secrets to a tree hollow full of bone fragments. She never spoke again. Instead, she listened to something only she heard. Some stories ain't lost, he warned. They're chained. And you're rattlin' the chains, girl. I kept filming. Curiosity is a curse disguised as ambition. Third night, Grandma's Bible. That evening I searched the cabin. Found Grandma's leather Bible. Pages thick with pressed herbs and chalk symbols. Tucked inside was a note in her shaky hand. If you hear them, don't answer. If they whisper, don't speak. If they find your name, run. My blood chilled. Then knock, knock, knock. 3 taps, slow, like knuckles on wood. I didn't answer. The door handle turned anyway. Something shuffled across the porch boards. A low voice hummed an old lullaby Grandma used to sing. Except Grandma had been dead for 3 years. You shouldn't have come back, Evie, the voice crooned, pitch thick and wrong. I clutched the Bible. Something slid under the door. A tiny carved figure, crude and wooden, with my hair tied around it. I screamed. The whispering burst inside the room like a draft of cold breath. We know your name now. The darkness outside blinked. Yes, blinked, like it had eyes. The forbidden story, the one not written. I fled to the attic, dust choking my breath. Boxes of my grandmother's recordings sat untouched. Boxes she never let anyone open. I played one. Her voice trembled. If you're hearing this, child, you didn't listen. Some tales guard themselves. Some tales hunt. Paper rustled, terrified breathing. The mountain spirits, they ain't ghosts. They're older. Things from before names, before faith. They bind to stories, to memory. Speaking them feeds them. They wake hungry. Then a scream, ripping, raw, cut the audio. Something heavy dragged. A whisper hissed close to the mic. Hush. Then silence. I smashed the recorder, but the whisper lingered in the room like smoke. The night they came, power died. Shadows crawled like fluid across the walls. The cabin walls shook, wood groaning. Outside, dozens of voices whispered in unison. Not chanting, breathing words. Tell the story. Feed us. Let us in. Hands pressed against the windows, long, thin fingers tapping the glass in rhythm. Something brushed the shingles above like claws dragging slowly. The doorknob twisted. My breath trembled white in the freezing air. I felt them inside my head scraping, searching. Grandma's Bible slipped from my grip. Pages fluttered, stopping at one line circled in trembling ink. Stay silent, or be claimed. I covered my ears. I didn't speak. I didn't breathe. The cabin filled with whispering, furious, needing. Then nothing. They left. Dawn came gray and lifeless. I walked out into the yard. Hundreds of wooden figures hung from trees, swaying gently. Every single one had my face. Aftermath, the price of knowing. I left the mountains that morning. Drove until the air felt human again. But silence followed me. Nights hum with whispers at my window. Mirrors ripple at midnight. In crowded places, I still hear my name breathed by no one. I learned this. Some stories are not folklore. They are traps. Doors. Bait. I recorded everything, but I will never release it. I thought truth was worth chasing. But truth in these mountains is not passive. It chases back. So if you ever walk the Appalachian woods and something whispers your name, don't answer. Don't film. Don't listen. Some tales are banned for a reason. And now you know one of them.